for the game, and I kept asking him, what is your strategy for this game? And he finally told me. He said, we're going to pick 5 champions, we're going to kill some turrets, we're going to kill some minions, and then if we're lucky, we're going to kill some champions. So, and he said like very vehemently, like, we actually don't have strategies. We just pick things and go.
In-depth strategy there, and also it ties up with what you were saying yesterday. It's all about the kills.
It is all about the kills. It's the only thing that matters is champion kills.
So we'll see what happens with this particular game right now. You can see that Thresh and Nasus have already been banned out. And interestingly, in terms of the champion pools, there is some overlapping between them. Kevin and Darian have both been playing a fair amount of Shen throughout the course of the event. Ocelot and Alexish. Ocelot recently picking up Zed. Alex, of course, playing Kassadin. We haven't really seen Ocelot and Kassadin all that much, but Diana is another pick that they have both played to varying levels of success. So we'll see exactly what does get picked and banned throughout the course of the next few.
Well, right off the bat, they are targeting the heck out of Hercubot, though. Nasus and Volibear both dropped out. Meanwhile, everyone is very surprised that Thresh is banned against Edward. It's not like he plays it well or anything.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. I don't quite understand that ban. But interestingly, what Gambit have done is they haven't banned out Job in the 4th yet. Now, we've seen Hercubot playing Nasus and playing very well with Nasus. Volibear, not so much. Volibear was more sort of Diamond Prox's preferred jungler, as it were. But yesterday and for your previous weeks, Hercubot's Jarvan has been very, very good. Ocelot fiddled with it in the middle lane, but it didn't really work out for him all that well.
And of course, as we get the final ban in there for SK against Gambit, those are pretty much the 3 bans I would expect to see against Gambit, like literally every game, unless you wanted to first pick one of those 3. Yeah,
so true. You know, it's just really, really powerful champions. The fact they can, the effect that they will have on a game if given to the right players is very, very powerful. And like we were saying, Shen, just one of those hotly contested picks, most likely going to be given to Kevin in that top lane. He's had some very, very solid performances on Shen throughout the course of the season. But if anybody's going to know how to play against Shen and how to deal with him, it is going to be Darian. He's been arguably one of the strongest Shen players, I would say, probably with Kevin and with Wicked in the top lane with that ninja all season long.
And right off the bat, you're actually seeing them choose what has a good chance of being that top lane counter lane. And they're looking at Elise right now. Of course, Miss Fortune is pretty much the champion that Genja plays every day, so no real surprise there. And we'll see what the pick ends up being for the top lane counter.
Yeah, and you know what's another interesting thing about the supports? They're not really going to overlap all too much with the exception of something like the Lulu. You know, Lulu pick is one that Edward really likes running and is a big favorite, a big fan of. Candy Panda also enjoys playing Caitlyn. So we may see something like a Caitlyn Lulu being locked in here, allowing maybe the jungler or mid laner for the last picks. A couple of different choices, but Elise and Miss Fortune, we've seen Elise in many, many roles, and it's one of the powers that she has. Can go top, can go mid, can go jungle, can go support, as you know, Crepo has actually been using from Evil Geniuses. So not guaranteed to be top lane, but the possibility is definitely there because she's so incredibly strong in that particular role. And exactly like you said, Genja on Miss Fortune, she's got a very, very good KDA with her. Let's actually pull that one up. If you want to get all the statistics, it is, of course, on lolesports.com. Played 6 games, won 6 times, a KDA of 8.4. So I think Genja knows how to play with the redhead.
A little bit of a flawless Miss Fortune. And actually, he was one of the first ones to bring it out back, I want to say at IM Kiev as well, that and AD Kennen, where people were like, oh, yeah, by the way, this is a champion that exists competitive. And now, a little bit over a year later, it's obviously clearly back, and no one's surprised by the pick anymore. So, you know, again, a lot of great choices right there. The interesting thing as well, though, is now that they've shown Graves Sona as the counter lane, I kind of want to point out, though, that Gambit have gotten to counterpick the top lane, and again, if they wait on Alex's pick here, they get to counterpick mid as well.
It's one of the benefits of being on the red side or purple side is that you do have that option to react to it. Sona and Graves, it's a fairly tanky lane. You know, that True Grip passive from Graves is going to give him a good stack of both armor and magic resistance, going to play into his favor, and the sustain that Sona is going to be putting out will be helpful. So I see a fairly defensive lineup so far with both Sona and Shen, but Gambit, they think the horse is amazing.
The horse is amazing. If you give it a lick, it tastes like raisins. You gotta love that champion. Now, we've seen AP Master Yi. Yeah, okay, that might have been a troll. But we've seen AP Yi picked back at IPL 5 to decent effect, actually, but he's not showing it yet.
I believe Alex actually got a pentakill with him in that particular event. So, yeah, has used it well. Not going to be picked here. Hecarim,
not yet.
Not yet. Good point. Good point. Hecarim, a jungler that, you know, once you've removed some of these other sort of top-tier junglers, Nasus, Volibear have already been banned out. Kayle could have been in the jungle. Elise could have been in the jungle as well. Job in the 4th is the only real if I dare say, top-tier jungler at the moment, and Hecarim that's still there. Now, Hecarim was used a lot in the opening weeks of the NA LCS. We haven't seen too much of him here. Morden was playing him from Giants. I remember him playing twice in one particular weekend, did a lot of split pushing with him, picked up a lot of lane tax, and effectively used him as a split pusher, became one of the most farm champions in the game, but didn't have a very big impact on the team fights. He was focused on the split pushing mentality. Gambit, they can split push, but we know they prefer to play aggressive. They prefer to be in your face. And I'm just thinking of the combination of that ultimate from Hecarim, the Onslaught of Shadows, plus a wild growth.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is a terrifying, terrifying combo. And, of course, SK have rounded up their lineup.
Yeah, they've grabbed up Ahri, and they've grabbed up the Jarvan, which you said about 7 times so far in Champ Select. Like, hey, he's probably going to play Jarvan.
It's Hercubot's go-to jungler right now.
Probably going to play Jarvan. Did, in fact, the Lulu out there as well. So, unless it's like top Jarvan, like you've got the SK lineup right here. The top Shen is there, again, counterpicked by the Elise. It's Gambit's turn to show their mid laner as well. So they've gotten pretty much dibs on counterpicking every single lane. Let's see what he puts up against Ahri. Now,
the SK lineup at the moment, though, you know, we've seen Ahri's the second time. We've seen it yesterday from Ocelot as well. Played it very well. Edwards all smiles while he's talking about the pick. Let's see what he wants to troll us with today. Maybe Easter egg Teemo. But there's not a lot of, you know, obvious synergies here from the SK lineup. They've got some good defensive abilities, they've got some good offensive abilities, and they've got a fair amount of tankiness when you consider the you know, True Grit from Graves, the auras from Sona. You've got Shen that's quite beefy, you've got Jarvan that's quite beefy. So it's going to come down to the individual plays. Somebody's going to have to make a play happen, and the rest of the team's going to roll around the rest of it. So SK, good mixture of everything. But I want to see how they want to play this matchup up, because Jarvan yesterday from Copenhagen Wolves gave them a tough time. Svenskeren had a very good game.
Yeah, you're right, where SK has a lot of initiation themselves. And the thing that I always have to think about when you see a split pusher like Shen, right, and we saw how well it worked for Against All Authority yesterday, is basically you have to deal with split push in some way. You either have someone who heads up fights better and can leave, and go support your team when Shen ults out, or you go all in and you fight 5-on-4s repeatedly. And you mentioned it, Hecarim Lulu, like that's kind of what I think Gambit's gonna have to key off of here. So again, we're getting into this game. You've seen the lineups up on screen. I don't think there's gonna be any lane swaps here. The lanes are all pretty obvious. And what you're seeing now are SK Gaming in third, knocking on top 2, and we'll see if Gambit opens the door for them.
Yeah, they're trying to get closer and closer, and you know, SK, they're fairly comfortable at the moment, but Evil Geniuses have had a bye weekend, so you know, EG are going to be sitting back, watching these games, looking at what they can pick and decide to do. But the one thing that I do want to point out is that synergy of the Elise and the Kassadin. It's two sort of assassin-type champions that can burst down somebody very, very quickly and very effectively.
Yeah.
And when we've seen Fnatic dealing with split pushing from, I think it was SK as well, actually, they would literally camp the Singe that was split pushing, and they used a Zed and a Kassadin combination. And they would just jump on him, kill him, blow him up, and carry on chasing the entire time, over and over and over again. So you couldn't split push because they simply assassinated you. And I feel like this may be something similar. If SK do try to do some form of split pushing with that Shen, I imagine Gambit will try to respond in a similar sort of fashion. You know, send those assassins there, pick up that kill, and then immediately come back to the rest of your team.
And of course, they do have a good amount of crowd control. Every single member on that team can do at least something to knock someone down. We're getting our way through the load screen. Of course, you do see SK on your screen right here. It is on them to make all the moves. Now you're seeing Gambit. Once again, the load screen is there. You're seeing just these beautiful splash arts handcrafted by the Riot artists. I mean, there's the Sona in the top right. You've got a Lulu barely off screen. I want
to jump in there very, very quickly, because about a year ago when Edward was playing Sona almost exclusively, this Muse Sona skin had a little bit of a graphic update whereby Edward's face was imprinted onto the image, and every time Edward got a 3-man or a 4-man crescendo, that image with his face on the Muse Sona was plastered everywhere. So I can no longer look at that splash art without seeing Edward's face in it. It's been destroyed or improved, depends on your viewpoint.
I'm going to go ahead and say I'm glad I've never seen that image. Edward's a phenomenal player. I'm happy about that, but I'm glad I have never seen that Photoshop before.
It is a little scary to say the least, but we are into game. SK versus Gambit.
Sorry, I talked over you, but you said it's a little scary, as is Edward's Sona.
Yes, very true.
As is Nif's Sona.
But it is, of course, Nif playing Sona for at least the European LCS. He's been one of the top Sona players if not the best Sona player. I'm thinking back to like weeks 2, 3, and 4, where he would just hit so many huge crescendos. But SK, they've decided to go very, very aggressive here. They're stacked up as 5. Darian has no idea where they are.
Hecarim spotted him, though. And
Hecarim will have vision, I think. I think he's got vision of it. It looks like
he definitely
Gambit are
saw
reacting.
That. He definitely saw it. So Darian's running very, very far away. SK trying to be sneaky and lurking around. They're pinging the brush they're going into, which is the one right above Wraiths. They group up together and then try to pin their way down. But, of course, Gambit are like, yeah, peace, we're going to be out of this one. Edward knows he's safe. Look how far in he gets to ward. He gets to ward the Wraith Brush because he knows no one is there to stop him, so it's a safe one.
Yeah, completely safe. His positioning is great. Knowing where the opponents are means that he obviously gains the advantage without losing anything. Getting a lot of deep vision wards here as well in terms of the SK Gaming jungle. So this is going to give them so much information on Hercubot's clear times, on his positioning, and they're even going to be cheeky enough and steal those double golems and the Wraiths.
Because SK doesn't know a lot about Gambit, they only know that, okay, we took control over the Wraith camp. They actually put the same wards down on the Wraith Brush. But Gambit, because they actually know that they are safe, they literally know where SK have gone, they actually get to take more away from the jungle. They'll trade red buffs, but Gambit gets more out of this one.
This is so, well, they almost catch him to Darian there, but now this is something that screams to me of something that Crepo was saying yesterday on the analysis decks, when he was talking about how teams need to react to what is going on. You can plan and plan and plan and plan, but if something doesn't go to strategy, then, you know, all of a sudden you simply need to react to your opponents. Gambit Gaming played very defensively there. They covered all the entrances to their river, and when they seen SK going in, they went, oh, let's go steal your opponent's jungle, where it was very clear that SK had a game plan. They knew where they wanted to go, they knew where they wanted to ward, and it just didn't pay off. They didn't catch anybody, but they did steal a little bit of jungle, albeit not as much.
Yeah, you're seeing a small 1,500 gold lead right here for Gambit. Actually, about 200 gold now for Gambit. But you're seeing the junglers kind of square off and go to their normal place. Hercubot just grabbed blue buff. Diamond, of course, in the exact same place. Level 3, I believe, on both of them here. So no major differences. We're just seeing the lanes kind of square off. Of course, SK have gone for 2-on-1 against Cassidy, though. That's going to be a little bit rough for Alex.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to shut him down. You know, Cassidy champion, you do not want to give any sort of leeway or any sort of control in a lane. The fact that their lane swap has happened, though, it's actually hurting SK for the time being because Ocelot is a little further behind. He's been zoned a little bit more effectively by Edward's Lulu, and you can see now that with this massive creep wave here, Diamond Prox is trying to set up to deny him as much golden experience as possible. And Ocelot's aware of it, but they're going into the top lane.
Yeah, they look for the repel there from Darian to make it completely safe. Ocelot forced to flash away from Diamond, so still level 1. He will miss another just multiple minion waves here, and that long lane just gave him so much room to zone him out. Ocelot still at 0 minions. That is rough for him.
Now, Alex, it's just hit level 3, who lands a good charm onto Diamond Prox, but because he has no levels, no other abilities to work with.
Diamond, they find Diamond in the top. He's been ignited. A lot of damage on him. First blood going over to Kevin. Great second dive right there. So, Ocelot with the safety, it's worth it overall.
Yeah, really well played. Good coordinated dive up there in the top lane. So, SK Gaming, they do balance out these lanes somewhat, giving first blood to Shen. However, Ocelot in the middle is just being so negatively impacted. He's just hit level 2 at 4 minutes on the clock and gotten 2 creeps. He started with Charm because they were anticipating a fight in the jungle. He wasn't able to farm or deal any damage at all with that Orb of Deception, and that is what's putting him so far behind. So good zoning by Gambit, but good coordinated dive. I just wanted to remind everybody, this is patch 3.04, so the Demacian standard no longer gives the aura buff to your teammates when that flag goes down from Jarvan.
The turret, though, damage increase not here, and to correct Crepo from yesterday, it does not deal more damage to minions, only champions. He nods in wholehearted agreement and says, thank you, Freak, for correcting me. And of course, now we're just kind of going back over the lanes. Kevin had used a red elixir here, level 4 versus level 3. So he's got an experience and gold advantage very clearly, up 16 minions. We'll see if he can keep making Darian's life miserable.
It's definitely going to help him out as well, because that's a matchup that's quite difficult for Shen in many cases against an Elise. The fact that it's percentage damage, and she can pretty much deal with the movements and the shields that Shen offers. You know, can get through the taunt, can repel onto him, carry on chasing down in spider form. So it's very good that he has that gold. Until he spends the money, however, the advantage isn't going to be there. Now they're going to go aggressive onto Alex. The knockup misses.
He does land this slow, though, at least a little bit. The charm goes off. Nice dodge there by Alex. He's going to get away from this one. Doesn't even land the Orb of Deception either. So Alex with his boots and a flask is going to survive for now.
So exactly like we were saying at the beginning, it is going to be standard lanes for the time being, albeit in different positions. So we're going to see your standard AD carry support against one another, which is a matchup we don't see all that often anymore. You know, so often the lane swaps and the push meta, as it were, of just getting towers as quickly as possible is the favor. But both of these combos, while they can push waves relatively quickly, they're not the fastest wave clearers that we've seen from the AD carry supports. Diamond Proxy's got the speed boost up and he's going in on Nif.
He's going to look for it. Knocks back Candy Panda a little bit. The counter gank is here from Hercubot. Will he go in? Does not want to actually push in onto Edward. So they don't get much out of that one. Just a little bit of damage into Candy Panda and not a lot of counterattack.
Such great positioning from Hercubot. He sort of sniffed that gank a little bit, was just cleared his Wraith camp out and was setting up, you know, towards that mid lane. But just the presence was enough to scare Diamond Prox away and move them a little further back. So very good play and even, but he's going in.
He got the knock-up onto Genja. Genja must flash away from this. Ignite is on as well. The Candy Panda gets the kill pickup. Nif helping quite a lot as well, but now Diamond is here. Candy Panda has to use Barrier. He's still alive. Will they find a kill out of this one? Well, Diamond certainly will, and now he's going to look for Nif. Will he have what he needs? Looks like not much more, but a 1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trade kill does go on to Diamond Prox, which is very good. But of course, the fact that the AD carry of Graves picked up that first kill in the mid lane, he now has a BF sword to back up that Doran's blade. It is such a big damage advantage for him. Genja does tend to build something like a double Bloodthirster on his Misfortune. We'll see if he goes that route this time as well. He just wants to get the scaling off of his ultimate.
Yeah, we'll see how that ends up panning out in the team fights and what kind of route he wants to go for. You can always look for single target damage output with auto attacks instead. Hecarim steals away. He saw that Hercubot was there farming out the mid lane, defending the turret, so he got a free steal onto the Wraiths. Now we, of course, see the junglers go back to their own territory here. Hercubot getting his Lizard buff for himself. You can see 31 to 37. The junglers are pretty close in terms of farm. And of course, the Frenchman should have Smite available and takes that one out pretty cleanly.
Yeah, is going to manage just to secure that and get away to safety. And I just want to go back to that Misfortune comment again. Genja yesterday, when he was playing Ashe, he almost relied on his volleys in teamfights more than his auto attacks. He didn't get stuck in quite as much. And it could be a symptom of playing so much Misfortune where you rely so heavily on your bullet time and positioning in teamfights to get a good channel on your ultimate. And that is really what helps secure you those advantages. So we'll see how he decides to play this one out. He's already got that Vamp Scepter and he gets a small CS advantage over Candy Panda. But other than a couple of ganks, it's just been a lot of farming as Alex gets caught by a taunt.
He does land some nice damage off of the charm right there. Nice pickup. I want to point out that Edward had just placed a pink ward in his basically lizard camp brush, the one right by the lane. He's actually looking to counter ward any possible set that SK is looking for, but of course nothing is there. Which makes me think Diamond might be looking for something in the mid lane. Of course, Diamond does find Nif, though. A lot of damage into him. Pops the ult as well. Look at the burst damage there. Edward secures the kill, 2-2. Ult goes off as well, but does not quite find Candy Panda.
Solo.
Yeah, he was looking for that one. Did put out a lot of damage there, but Candy Panda did get away. Edward, though, he's trying to zone him out. Problem is, Hercubot is there. Must flash away, because that is a very angry Demacian Prince. Candy Panda did get slowed. The Glitter Lance did land, but he survived.
If Edward was only playing AP, he may have been able to pick up that kill, but he secures one more for himself in the mid lane. Could this be the first of many for Edward? It's not uncommon to see him racking up a huge kill score. I believe he's got a 6.4 KDA, if I recall correctly. So,
pretty good.
You know, not too bad for that support player. Now, Ocelot's done very, very well for himself in this bottom lane. He was so far behind for those opening minutes. He's managed to pull himself up, even in CS, with Alexich's Kassadin, and it's just going to even out the power balance. But in terms of assassination potential, you've always got to favor Kassadin because he is coming in from the side, and the charm so well timed from Ocelot. If Kassadin continued, he would have eaten it.
And the funny thing is, Alex, I think, could tell that Ocelot knew he was there because of when he turned around, he said, oh, he'll see me in the brush, and then juked back expecting the charm. It was a really nice move. Alex now forced to last hit under turret. Now, Kassadin actually last hits really well under turret when his W's active. It's enough to always meet the breakpoint for turret hits a melee twice, turret hits a ranged one once. You always meet the breakpoint for that. And so he's actually keeping up pretty well, 51-45. Kassadin actually surviving. Darien gets aggressed on here by Kevin. Nice stun on the backside though. And Elise actually, I think, gets the better of that trade somewhat. So Kevin's forced to sustain a bit more now.
Darien did use his Ignite though, so if Kevin had stuck around and continued fighting, he was going to go in there. So remember, it's not available if Diamond Prox comes in for this gank, but he did walk straight over Kevin's ward. So Kevin is well aware of it. You can see a number of pings on the minimap. He's pretty much saying, look, I know that the horse is here, and I'm confident enough for the time being. Hercubot's already roaming around in anticipation of either the gank or to set up a gank of his own. So we'll see how Gambit set this one up. But up in the top lane, it does look like that Jarvan's gone in, and we'll see if we can get up there.
Oh, the flash from Darien keeps him alive a little bit. The Ignite, though, picks up the kill. Kevin, nice grab right there. We were watching how the slightly unfortunate ward from Edward could not see the one that SK had put down, but just a straight-up duel. Nice pick up there, or 2v1, I should say. Alex Ich now in the bottom. Does take damage in a duel against Ocelot. These guys are still trading back and forth overall. Not a lot of movement lane to lane, but Hercubot's definitely putting his pressure on the map. Now Diamond forced to defend this turret 1 versus 2, and SK are not going for a kill there.
No, low damage ping. As you see, Ocelot is dropped by Alex. If he decides to go in aggressive, he may actually be able to pick up the kill, but SK are trying to set one up on Diamond.
Yeah, they land the taunt, a lot of damage there, but the turret just putting out a little bit too much pressure for these guys. SK are not going to find the kill there. Oh, the go in from Alex! Will he get the damage he needs? It's so very close, and they are going to trade. Nice. I don't know if it's better for anyone in particular, but it's kill for a kill.
I'm pretty sure that Alex, I think he ate a charm. I'm not sure because he seemed to just stop once he landed under the turret. SK Candypan in the mid lane is putting a lot of aggression onto Genja, but it's not affecting his farming just yet. But yeah, in the bottom lane there, you know, you've seen Alex, he used that Rift Walk in, landed his Ignite, the Null Sphere, and then all of a sudden just sort of stood there. So I don't know if he was resigned to the fact that he was going down or what exactly happened. But a trade 1-for-1. Even, I suppose, seeing as though they're both 1-1 right now.
Yeah, and of course you just saw right there a wave clear coming out from Genja, making sure he doesn't take too many missed minions, and of course he's going for the wolf camp right now. So certainly looks like he's practicing for the for his match later today.
See if we can take out the Copenhagen wolf, the wolf camp throughout the course of the matchup. So we do have a very brief momentary pause. We'll find out what the source is of that, but this game is extremely even and extremely close right now. 4-3 on kills. There's only 400 gold that separates them, and it's literally just spot on. I mean, there's nothing to differentiate these guys right now.
Apparently, it was just a very momentary pause. Hercubot paused and said, "Hey guys, are you ready?" I was just kidding. Everyone's fine. So back into the game, you can see it on their screens right here. And they are still going toe-to-toe. Of course, you're seeing SKO, but the ult comes in from Hecarim, looking for the damage onto Nif. And that is a pretty painful one right there. The Sona might go down. Yes, it does. The Wild Growth even part of that one. We get the instant replay. And that is Diamond picking up the kill. So, nice grab there from Gambit. The reinitiation, very, very strong.
Yeah, really, really strong engagement. Only Freak can commentate from looking at a player's point of view on the matchup. And I believe that was Nif's point of view as well, if I recall correctly. So nevertheless, the fact that they picked up that kill allows them to move down towards the Dragon. They have the numbers advantage. They know that SK aren't in a position to really defend or challenge for this one. And they have the vision advantage in the area as well. So a free, uncontested Dragon gives them timing, gives them control, and a momentary gold lead at this moment in the game.
That was definitely a great setup right there going in. Actually, Alex speaking of going in, looks to Ocelot, and he's got him down to half health already. Ocelot might need some MR, but Hercubot is around. Can he bait the kill? Ocelot goes for the ult, and actually no, forces Alex to run away from this one. Can Ocelot get one more charm? He will not. A little bit low on mana and maybe the cooldown as well. So Hercubot now going to stick around in this lane. Definitely see that Ocelot is forced to run away. Does not have much magic resist to his name, so that is a painful situation. You fight a Kassadin.
Yeah, the amount of damage that Kassadin puts down is just so high, and once that Null Sphere is at max rank, and you can see that even with the dashes from Ari, was unable to actually chase Alex Ich's Kassadin. Tried to get in range, unfortunately it just went a little bit wide with that Orb of Deception, and couldn't even get in range for the Foxfire to go off. So, you know, good play from Alex Ich in positioning. He did get away from the counter gank even after eating the charm at the beginning, but for the time being he's relatively safe. Now Diamond Prox sniffing the middle lane, tower goes down, he knocks Nif back, and he doesn't have that Onslaught of Shadows available for that CC, so unfortunately cannot continue that gank pressure.
Even though SK is right up to the turret, they couldn't quite get the kill out of it. So we're going to see Genja go back to the base, Hercubot grabbing his buffs one more time throughout the map. This is going to be his golem, it seems. And it's interesting because we're not seeing the sort of standard AP mid players get their own blue buffs because you're seeing them basically sit at the bottom lane and not leave, and the junglers over and over and over again just grab them for themselves.
Yeah, it's different to what we usually see in terms of that play, especially when you consider how much Ari and Cassidy can benefit from. Candypan is going to try steal. Collateral damage comes out, but it is a little late because the burst damage from Riftalk was too high. They had full vision of it. They knew it was going down, and you could sort of feel that Gambit were aware of the presence because they did pull it back into their towards the grass, the bush area to deny as much vision as possible.
Yeah.
And the fact that those blue buffs have been denied, and the fact that, you know, Alex had a little bit of a stronger start, he hit some items before Ocelot did, means he's got a 20 CS lead right now in this bottom lane. He's also had a little bit, Ocelot's had to deal with a little bit more gank pressure from his opponents.
That's true.
What that's meant is that up in their top lane, Kevin's Shen has managed to go 2-0 against his lane opponents, also thanks to some help from the SK team. So it's a clear focus that SK want to try and detract from Elisa's farm and focus on feeding Shen, whereas Gambit are trying to focus on Ocelot and his Ari a little bit more.
And of course that plays in, and it makes so much sense too, because SK's game plan is about Kevin split pushing, and they're making Kevin get ahead here. And of course, Gambit wants to get in and fight a real team fight. Hercubot is looking for the bottom lane here.
He's looking for it, but he's standing right on top of a ward. So he's unaware that his opponents can see him. Once these minions get down, they may actually be able to do so. But once that ward gets positioned, his vision will be revealed. And you can see Hercubot immediately goes, oh, I forgot when I do that they can see me, and he starts to walk away. But Ocelot is going to get caught out here.
Alex finds a nice opening there. Ocelot does not land the charm. Alex issues in a pretty good spot. He's trying to run away. No, he goes in onto Ocelot, but he's been Demacian and ulted. And now it's a silence on a Hercubot. Jarvan's not in a great place.
Yeah,
Shen'll comes by as well. They're going to try to go back on in. He flashes forward. He just forces Cassidy to run away. Actually, the cocoon stops Shen from showing up, so it's still a 2-on-2. There's the onslaught of shadows, and that is the kill picked up. Alex Ich getting the credit onto that one. That is a 1-for-0.
So well played there from Gambit. Not only did they go back in, Alex almost went 1v1 with Ocelot, but it's not done yet. Edward's getting closer to Hercubot, and you know, if anyone's going to go aggressive, Edward's the man to do it. You have to give props to Darian there, interrupting the Stand United from Kevin. I think he popped his flash and took turret damage just to shut Shen down. You can see Summoner Spell is blown, and the fact that Shen could not, you know, pitch up to that battle in the bottom lane meant that SK lost the eventual trade 1-0.
And of course, just a really, really good re-engage. Alex rift blocked forward, flashed as soon as he saw the Cataclysm come out, and then still managed to get back into the fight to pick up the kill. The mechanics there on that Cassidy play are very strong, but a duel up in the top lane. Darian getting dropped very, very low, but lands Cocoon onto Kevin and starts running away. Can Kevin do anything here? Of course, Darian's flash is down from that prior engagement, so no, it's Genja walking to the top lane. That ward just times out. Kevin's gonna go back to farming.
Yep, Count farming Shen. Who would have guessed? You know,
weird, right?
He's just doing the best that he can to work towards that Warmog. He's already got that Giant's Belt, Ruby Crystal, and the Rejuvenation Bead in his back pocket, so he shouldn't be too far away from securing that. I just want to see what Genja's going to be building next. He has his first Bloodthirster completed. He started with 6% lifesteal coins. Alex thinks he can take this one. Does he have enough damage?
He's certainly looking for it. He's playing like he does. The taunt comes in. That's going to be so much damage on Alex's Ripwalk is still down. Will it be enough? There's a force pose as well. Kevin, oh, he does pick up the kill first, but Alex does go down afterwards.
So Alex trading again underneath the turret. He had enough damage to pick up the kill, but a very, very good taunt from Kevin with the damage reduction and the CC that offered. Bought, I think, 2 more turret hits onto Alex, which would have been the difference between life and death. So a good taunt managed to at least, you know, give him 1 in reply or 1 back. But I'm going to have to see if Alex keeps doing that throughout the game, because he cannot afford to just keep dying every time he tries to dive and pick up a kill.
It's true, you end up losing out on a lot of experience when you're not farming minions and whatnot. Ocelot pushing out the bottom lane in response, and of course, no one is there to clean up those minions that get pushed out. So you're seeing what happens when, you dive like that. Genja's being run to the bottom lane right here to try to pick that up. Alex Ich with home guard boots trying to do the same, so Genja turns around, using Strat to get back to the mid lane. But let's recap so far, guys. This game is pretty much neck and neck. We're 19 minutes in. Gambit have pulled a narrow 1-kill lead. They've got +1 Dragon as well, but the turrets are equal. And you're seeing different styles anyway from these teams, so gold is not even the most important, tool of who's winning. There you go. Thank you, Factor.
And interesting about that as well, you know, the fact that it's 1 tower to 1, 5 kills to 6. For anybody that did watch any of the NA games last night, there was one particular matchup where at 18 minutes on the clock, I believe 6 towers had been killed already for 0 deaths. It was just tower. It was like a tower defense game is what ended up happening. They traded
like tower offense game.
Tower
Whoa!
And it was just back and forth tower killing. That is all they did over and over and over before finally First Blood came. So this is a matchup that is somewhat similar, but in the opposite respect. There's not been a lot of pushing, but Hercubot's found.
Speaking of pushing, he's been pushed right down 6 feet under, and SK Gaming timed all their aggression right around the dragon respawn. They are there, and this will be SK's turn at an unanswered dragon. They do have Kevin's ultimate available. I would be surprised to see Gambit go in.
Now there is some vision here, and Gambit are going to channel. There's the onslaught.
And he gets it. The steal comes out for Diamond. Who's going to be doing what now? And it's the Shen ult coming by. Nif is low, forced to flash away. And Elise is right there, takes a crescendo. The Diamond might go down first. They do pick him up. The horse is dead this time. Darian, now they're going for spiders. So many creatures going down, and the jungle is being wiped out.
So they traded 2 for Dragon in that particular engagement, but the reason the Dragon got started in the first place was because Genja went down. So at the end of it, 1 for 3. In terms of gold, it still holds that sort of 2k difference, but what a smite steal there from Darian, using that onslaught of shadows to come in. And I think it just caught Hercubot by surprise. His smite is still available. He literally started singing that horse was amazing and forgot to press his summoner spell. Unfortunately, you cannot afford to do that. You can see the gold at the moment they're on screen, and it's pretty good numbers for both of these teams.
Only, what, yeah, 1,800 separates right now. Alex Ich looking for the push onto Ocelot. The Riftwalk is going to be available. Here comes the sounds, the burst damage, the ignite. You are a very, very dead guy right there. Ocelot just falls immediately. Candy Panda here on cleanup duty, but Alex has the mana to escape. Will he have the damage? Look at that Riftwalk, though. It has a slow. His Riftwalk stacks are at 0, actually, so it's only a 200 mana cost. And he goes back in onto Candy Panda, lands the slow, but no one's coming to support him. Candy's really going in on this one. Finally out of mana now. Alex, he's not going to get anywhere near him.
Alex is playing very, very aggressive. Now, that's not something new to everybody, but that particular engagement, that seemed like calculated aggression. The 2 previous dives that we've seen under the turret, less so in terms of calculated, because he died in both of those situations. Genja and Edward able to pick up the turret in the mid lane, and these 2 sort of beefy, tanky, warmog wearing ninja spider people fighting in the top lane, but Hecarim wants to join the party. We'll see how quickly he can get there. He does have his ultimate available. Kevin's in trouble.
Yeah, they put the ignite on. He's still going for the turret dive right there. Goes back in human form to put some damage on Huss turret aggro as well, and Diamond goes in. He's going to look for 300 gold right here. Kevin tries to flash away, but he's still getting caught up here. The shield is on, but here comes Hercubot. He stops him up. There's the Massey Standard. Darian flashes forward. Will he have the damage? Kevin's still alive. The stun doesn't deal any damage, but he does pick up the kill. They trade back and forth. Nif picks that one up, but Ocelot is now into the fray against Diamond. But Alex Ich shows up. They find the kill right there. Hercubot does not want to go into this one. Alex is a pretty damaging guy. Jumps over the wall, but so does Candy Panda. Forced to flash away. Candy Panda flashes, and the burst comes out. Alex is still alive. Can they pick up Diamond? He's at 211 health. Can Hercubot chase this one down? He's getting outrun, but Sona hates him up. The EQ is going to be up just now. He flashes, but he misses. He goes the wrong way. Diamond, now he's charging. He's going to get out.
What a crazy fight. They end up trading 2 for 1. Genja completely left alone in the bottom lane. He picks up the inner turret. Alex Ich and Edward will probably be able to pick up the mid inner turret as well if they stick around. A huge, huge, huge fight there. At the end of it all, Nif managed to pick up the kill onto Darian, who went so deep. But they did manage to secure that kill. Plus 2 towers. Gambit are ecstatic with that trade.
That was a very, very good one. And we just talked about an 1,800 gold lead. Well, now it's about 4,000, 4,500 even. So that lead has ballooned up quite a bit. A lot of helium, apparently, or strong lungs from Gambit, because you're seeing them get better and better in this game. Kevin now on the bottom lane to push out. He's got a long way to go. 2,000
gold difference between Ocelot and Alex Ich there in their mid lane champions, or in this particular matchup, it was the bottom lane. But with those towers going down, Gambit have just opened up this map, and you can see by the vision, look at how many wards they have placed all over the mid to bottom half of that map, because there's no towers to defend. So the previous time that Gambit went super aggressive towards that tower and, towards that fight, it was a little risky. It'll be a little safer now because they have so much more vision, and they pick up another unanswered tower kill off the back of that particular engagement.
And that's so rare to see as well. He's 2 and 4 on Elise, and no one was there to stop him. Darren actually picked up a Tear of the Goddess, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen that on Elise, but both his Qs and his auto attacks apply single target spells. So Muramana would do actually a lot of damage.
So we'll see if he does decide to go that route. He always has the potential of going for Seraphs and going for the shield.
True.
But we've had discussions about the shield and varying levels of success. So we'll see what Darren does like to build. He does try. Actually, you know what? Gambit in general do tend to build, itemize their way. They don't necessarily go to norms. Alex trying to pick a fight now. Darian's actually cocoon candy.
He does land the stun right there. The ult coming out completely whiffs from Nif. And look at the burst coming out. The damage output from Genja. The entire team down to half health. Alex might want to go for something here. Kevin being knocked around. He gets the slow down as well. Who's going to be the target here? Darian is still in this this fight right there. Kevin taking a bunch of pain. He does go down. Genja finds that. And Darian actually survives as well. The wild growth from Lulu keeping him alive. And Gambit's going to run away with a 1-for-0.
1-for-0, but they managed to get the tankiest target down. Kevin joined the party a little bit late there, obviously because of the stand united. And once the rest of his team was falling behind, he was pretty much playing a meat shield. He wanted to tank as much damage as possible to buy time for his carries to escape. Unfortunately, the combined efforts of all the slows and, CC that Gambit could stick to him meant he did eventually go down in that trade. So again, 1-for-0. Gambit coming out just a little bit ahead, and they've extended that gold lead now to 6,000 gold, which is now a significant number. Now it's starting to show dividends in terms of itemization.
It definitely is right here, and I just kind of want to point out, though, I'm looking at the various parts of the game. Of course, we see Gambit winning and winning and winning in these team fights. That SK, though, Edward is, he gets it though. Nice pick up there by Edward. But SK are still trying to play the split push game. I want to point to Kevin's items. He's starting on a wit's end. He's still trying to be able to duel against Darian and delay the game out.
We'll see if that's actually going to be a possibility, because Chain Vests and the Tear of the Goddess for Darian's Elise. I want to see what he itemizes. If he goes for something like a Sunfire Cape, he can counter push quite effectively. Dragon has respawned. Edwin is a little bit out of position, so this is going to be a 4 versus 5 by time Genja gets here with Strut. Can they steal another Dragon?
Oh, no, it's going to be actually picked up by Ocelot. He gets it, and they find Diamond. That horse is taking so much damage. The shield is on as well. Nip taking a bunch of punishment. They trade 1-for-1. Where's it going to go to next? SK still 4 strong. Darian in the mix. Run away from Alex. The ult comes out. Bullet time dropping Ocelot low. He flashes out of that one. Hercubot's in the mix as well. The knockup from Lulu. He keeps Genja alive. Edward's in the mix as well. Candy Panda taking a bunch of damage. He's going to go down. Alex Itch finds another kill. That's them getting cleaned up right now. SK is going to fall over, and only Hercubot is alive.
Gambit have put on their dancing shoes because they were all over the place in that fight. They were in and out and in and out and two-stepping left and right to dodge every bit of damage that SK Gaming were putting down. And that is why they come out of the fight 4-for-0. Every single piece of kiting ability that was possible was used. And you can see in the middle lane, Alex is just pushing towards the inhibitor turrets.
And they are, and you're seeing how much pressure they have. Still 12 seconds left on most of the respawns here. Nif and Hercubot cannot defend the turret by themselves. Darian and Alex are going to take that one down. Will they go for the inhibitor? They've got 3 seconds still, and Alex, of course, he's got Rift Walk, so he's like, Sona, okay.
This is Alex Itch. He's going to stay as aggressive as possible because that's what he's been doing the whole time. Edward is positioning some wards for Baron, so you can expect Gambit maybe to start thinking towards that objective in the next couple of minutes. But again, we pointed out during that fight that Ocelot actually got the last hit on the Dragon. Smite was still available for Hercubot. He's missing those smites. That's a second Dragon engagement that we've seen go a little awry as far as his, last hitting smite is concerned. SK immediately rushing Baron. They could sense as well, this is the next point of contention.
I think Hercubot's just charging it up. It's like Mega Man. He doesn't want to fire that smite. He wants to keep it channeled and charged and charged and charged so he can super smite the Baron at the end and steal it away. We'll see if that ends up happening.
Doesn't it deal more damage the less time it's used?
Yeah, sure.
This is a joke, people. Please don't take that seriously.
It wasn't even a good joke. I'm sorry. That's -1 point to me. But SK are grouping up around Baron. They do realize this might be their biggest objective to go for right now. Gambit in SK's jungle right here, spotted by a couple of minions. So that's still helping SK with vision, even if wards aren't so much. Of course, once again, Edward has an Oracles and he's sweeping them out pretty successfully.
So
Darian, yeah?
Genja has built a Guardian Angel.
Genja has built the Guardian Angel, so he is just being as durable as possible and trying to make sure that they are going to be safe in this team fight and he doesn't go down to Assassins. And they're now starting on Baron. But they just swept the ward, so SK knows about this.
So we'll see how SK can react. You actually see Kevin is recalling for the time being, so he may want to just pick up some items and stand united in. The ultimate is available. Darian is just off screen. He has picked the fight, though.
They have found Elise right there. Edward is nearby as well. Can they pick up Darian? He's been ulted by Lulu. They're going for him right now, and the rest of Gambit are going to turn around. The pony is there. Darian is still alive as well. They picked up 2 kills so far. Ocelot trying to run towards the back, but Alex Itch is right on top of them. Darian and Diamond both low on health, but still not dying. Ocelot trying to run. one. The shield there from Alex. He's going to pick up another kill. Only 2 still alive for SK Herkybot. Now the focus, and he is going to be running and running and running. The rappel is there, though. They find their 4th kill of the fight, and now it is Kevin. Kevin alone right here, getting chased down by the AD carry and support. Been exhausted as well, but he is still trying to escape from this fight. The slows are there. We see Alex coming from the side. He's been silenced as well. Flashes away. The silence comes out, and Alex picks up the ace. Everyone on SK is gone right now.
Everyone on SK is dead. The rest of Gambit are going to take down this middle inhibitor. There's fairly 20 to 30 seconds. They might be able to get the top lane turret down. That bullet time from Genja was so well placed. It removed Nif and Candy Panda from the fight entirely. And the fact that Graves was dead so early on in the engagement meant they lost all of that damage. The Bloodthirster, the Phantom Dancer, the Last Whisper was not there.
Oh
and
my
just blew
gosh.
up again.
It just exploded Candy Panda right there. They're diving now into the base. Nif is not going to be in a good shape. Well, he actually will survive this one. Diamond was not able to dive into the fountain. As tanky as he is, the Fountain Laser tends to be a bit strong. And of course, Nexus turrets are going down. This could be the game-winning push here for Gambit. There are 3 members of SK to defend, but looks like they're not going to even try. Gambit are going to take this victory and continue to stay in 2nd place here in the EU LCS. Congratulations there to the Russians.
GG to Gambit. That was a very, very good game, but you have to give credit to SK. Comparison to previous performances, they really stepped up their game here. They had a very strong early game. They traded back and forth, and it was really just that 1 or 2 team fights that swung Gambit's favor that allowed them to pull ahead and cement that lead.
It's always been the thing that Gambit was best at, is whether they have weird lanes or not, no matter what happens early game, they just have this uncanny ability to team fight perfectly. Whether it was the Dragon Steel that made it, it wasn't the best fight for them, but they got the Dragon Steel and kept themselves in the game. Whether it was Alex Itch just finding kills all the time and just various side lanes, 1v1, 1v2, no problem.